Hello out there in YouTube land. It's your man, not your boy, Ted E Fame, back at it again with another live stream. So I want to apologize for missing these past 2 days. I was supposed to stream on Wednesday, and then I rescheduled for Thursday, and then here we are Friday on a normal stream day, and I'm back on. So honestly, to be honestly, this is a busy week for me in terms of other activities. You know, I'm an actor, and believe it or not, even though there's a union strike going on, which I'm a member of, I actually had some work this week as an actor. I was on a New Wednesday. I did a music video for this artist named Kiki Palmer. I know her as an actor. I never knew she was a singer also, but we're doing a new music video for her. And we filmed that in downtown Los Angeles. Then on yesterday, I was invited to do a survey on acting, and that was work. So that sort of threw me off schedule and made it hard for me to stay on schedule. So I rescheduled it for today, Friday, which is a normal broadcast day for me anyway. I broadcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I just skipped Wednesday, and we're back broadcasting here on a regular broadcasting day, Friday. And today, we are going to talk about the night Tony Williams of the Platters passed away. Now, I wasn't actually there to experience it, but because of my relationship with Tony and Helen, I was informed about the situation at a later date. So Helen and Tony Williams actually had an apartment, a penthouse apartment to be exact, in Manhattan on 7th Avenue and 59th Street, basically Columbus Circle. That's what that area is called, Columbus Circle. They've been living there, I would say, since the late 60s. So they had a nice apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment. They were living there since that time. And that's actually where Tony died. He passed away in his sleep. So Helen, his wife, the woman that's in the group who took the place of Zola Taylor, she actually was there with Tony when he passed away. He passed away laying right next to her in the bed. And she told me, well, let's talk from the beginning. So Tony, that final week of his life, Tony's health was deteriorating tremendously, greatly. He was in the hospital a week before he died, and then I think he was released a week prior to him dying. So he was slowly but surely slipping away. And here's something really interesting. Tony Williams died at the age of 64. his health was really bad when he died. He had a stroke. He had emphysema, heart disease. I think he had kidney. Also, he had a numerous health issues. And I'm bringing it up because he was 64 when he passed, which is the actual age I turned a month ago. I am 64 years old today. And I must say, I'm in the best of health. You know, I didn't abuse myself with alcohol and drugs or other substances that slowly deteriorates you and deteriorates your body. And I'm not saying that I'm some goody two shoes or something, because hell no. I mean, I had my share of drinking. I never was into drugs. I mean, I smoked some marijuana, but I wasn't even into the cocaine or none of that other stuff. So no hard drugs. I never really got into hard drugs. The most I've done was smoke some weed and drink some alcohol and smoke cigarettes. And I quit all of that. I still occasionally smoke some weed, but the alcohol, cigarettes is gone. If I drink anything, it'll be red wine, and I have a maximum of 2 drinks. 2 glasses of red wine is the most I will drink in one given night. And I eat healthy and I exercise. As a matter of fact, I was at the gym today. Just basically to keep my weight together and also to maintain my physical health and physical condition. So that's primarily the reason I'm in the gym. I'm not trying to be Mr. Olympia or something like that, Arnold Schwarzenegger. No, just trying to stay healthy, stay vibrant, and feel good, which all 3 I am. Oh man, I need some water. I'll get some later. So I brought that up just to tell you that how you take care of yourself is going to determine how you're going to spend the rest of your life. You know, you gotta eat healthy, you gotta live good, and you gotta be conscious of what you're putting in your body, because eventually that's gonna come back and bite you in the behind. Uh-oh, what's this? Hold on. Oh yeah, okay. Hey, you know what? Sorry about that. I just wanna check your YouTube. Check your YouTube. Behind. Yeah, it's working. Uh-oh, what's this? Hold on. Oh yeah, okay. Hey, it's working. Not bad. Good. So yeah, sorry about that. Just making sure that everything looks good. Everything looks pretty good. Everything looks pretty damn good. So as I was saying, he was in really, 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 really bad health. And like she said that whole week, Helen, his wife, as she was telling me the story, what led up to his death, that she could tell that his health was deteriorating. But you never know when someone's going to take their last breath. It can happen at any moment. I mean, I can go to sleep tonight and don't wake up tomorrow. So, but chances are that happens quicker when you're not taking care of your health, which he was in really bad health. She had said the night he passed, he went to bed relatively on a regular schedule. I think she said he went to bed like there's regular times anywhere between 9 and 11 o'clock, he would go to bed. And she said, you know, they have a TV set up in the bedroom on a dresser, you know, below their feet. So the dresser is this way and the TV is that way, pointing back at them. So they was watching TV laying in bed. And she said he was laying on her right-hand side and she was laying on the left-hand side. And she said they were watching TV. He fell asleep. And then she fell asleep later. And she said she woke up the next morning and she noticed that she couldn't hear him breathing, or he wasn't making any movement. He was just like stiff laying there. So she reached over to shake him. And she said she knew right then he was gone. First of all, she said she took her hand and she touched his face like this. His face was cold. So he had to pass sometime during the night. Because I think she said she woke up around 6:30, 7 in the morning, and he was already gone. And like I said, she touched him on his face, and she said his face was cold, and his body was like rigid. He was just laying there like that, sleep, with his eyes closed. Looked like he was asleep. She said it actually looked like he was just sleeping. You didn't really realize that he had already passed. It looked like he was just sleeping in his sleep. So she got up. She called the hospital. They sent someone over. Actually, the ambulance came over first. When the ambulance came over, the medics came over. Once the medics got there and came upstairs, came to the room, they realized he had passed. So they said there's nothing they can do. So they called the morgue to come get him. And I think she said about an hour or so later, the people from the morgue came, took him away. It was just her and him in the apartment at the time. She has a son named Nathaniel Shedd, but everybody calls him Ricky. And he normally stays in the other bedroom. And so did the road manager. I'll never forget his name. He was a great guy. His name was Joe Burke. His name was Joe Burke. I'm sure he passed away a long time ago too. So they lived with Helen and Tony, but neither one of them were in the house at the time when Tony passed. It had what had happened in '92. I had left the group earlier that year. I took advantage of an opportunity. And it was a slow year. '92 was actually a slow year. I think we did a job earlier that year because he died in August. I think we had a show if I'm not mistaken, I think we had a show in February or March of that year. We only had one show that year to that point. I think we had to turn down a few because Tony was just too sick to go out on the road. And by that time, I was in my 10th year. And I had already decided either way, that was going to be my last year. So I was making plans, arrangements for me to move on from the Platters. I had also was able to have made a relationship and connection with booking agents from my time being in the Platters. So what actually happened was I was in Japan when Tony passed because I had got a booking with my group for 3 months. And I came back to America, I think, at the end of July. No, and sometime in August. I think I came back around. I know it was after the fact, so it had to have been a couple of weeks after he passed or something like that. So I had missed the funeral, but when I got back to New York, I went straight to the apartment and I visited Helen, and that's when she had told me everything that had occurred that went down with Tony's passing. I can tell you those last 2 to 3 years of me being a member of the Platters, I would say around 90 is when his health really went down like this. As a matter of fact, go to my channel, go to the playlist, and look for the Platters. I have videos of us performing. His last performance is 3 years before he passed. It was '89, and you can tell by watching those videos what shape Tony was in. So do yourself a favor, and like I said, go to my channel. Please like the page if you haven't, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. But go to my channel, go to my playlist, and look for the Platters. Under the Platters, you'll see a bunch of videos. And here's the thing: a real fan of the Platters, had came because we were booked at a club in Seaside Heights, New Jersey, and we was booked at this bar restaurant, and we had some Platters fans who would come to our shows. Well, this particular fan came and set up his recording equipment. Now, back then, nobody had like cell phones with the camera, so he had to set up a recording equipment and videotape it. And he actually videotaped that show. And somehow, some way, I found somebody. I met somebody through YouTube. Matter of fact, his name is Dua. And I met him through YouTube, and he actually had gotten his hands on that recording of that show, and he actually was the one to send me a copy of it. So I'm so appreciative of Dua, and I hope to re-engage with him again on YouTube when he finds out that I'm back streaming live. So anyway, I took that, I think it was about an hour show, I'm not mistaken, because when we do a show when there's no other groups on the bill, we do extended show for at least an hour plus, and every member of the band gets to sing lead. So that particular show, we were the only ones on the bill, so you're going to see moments where I'm singing lead, I'm singing Shout by the Isley Brothers, another member sing another song. Everybody in the group had a chance to sing lead besides Tony. So you'll see all that. But I want you to see the condition Tony Williams himself was in, and verify my point when I'm saying that his health was really going down, because it affected singing, it affected his performance. He wasn't the Tony Williams that I met when I first joined the group in '82. By the time he got to the '90s, he was on his way out, and you could see by his performance. So go and check those videos, and let me know if I'm correct in my analysis. What was going on with Tony Williams back then? So his passing was inevitable. And I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to spend 10 years of my prime life, from the age of 22 to 32, my prime ages. I got to be a member of that group and share my musical talents with the world through being a member of that group and traveling all over the world. I'm telling you. And even after leaving the group, to still be able to work because of my association with that group and the people and connections I met along the way. So I did get to go visit his grave. He's in New York. They're buried, and it's funny because he's from Elizabeth, New Jersey, but they got him, I think, out in Long Island. If I'm not mistaken. I forgot the name of the cemetery, but you can look it up. I think I might have a picture of his tombstone. I think I have a picture of his tombstone somewhere. I should have. Wow, I know I do have a picture of his tombstone. I'm gonna try to find it and upload it at another time when I talk about that some more. I'm definitely gonna upload it at a later date because that's something that's very y'all should see. I'm not gonna make this live long because I got a lot of stories and I want to keep them kind of within 30 minutes so you guys don't get bored because I don't have a lot of different slides and stuff like that. I'm not a fan of somebody that's talking about the Platters. I'm actually the last surviving member of Tony Williams Platters. So I don't need to get all those little gadgets to put up. I can just sit here and just talk about my time being a member of that group, whereas anybody else will have to show graphics and show comparisons and speak in a third party term as learning about something from someplace else or being told something from somebody else. Everything you're getting from me is firsthand knowledge. And I can only speak about the time that I was in Tony Williams' group, in the Platters. I can't talk about anything that happened before I joined the group because I wasn't there. And then I would just be giving secondhand knowledge from what someone told me. But I can tell you firsthand knowledge of everything that went on with Tony Williams Platters from the 10 years that I was a member from 1982 to 1992 of Tony Williams group, Platters. I can tell you everything firsthand knowledge, not secondhand knowledge, not he say, she say, but what I witnessed and experienced with my own two eyes and my own sense. So that's all we're going to be talking about. So I don't need graphics and stuff like that. I just need my memory and a platform, which I have, and I'll just talk about it. And I'm sure there are Platters fans out there. I don't know if there's still any around or that are on YouTube that actually was witnessed my performances live when I worked with the Platters or ever seen the Tony Williams Platters. If you've seen Tony Williams Platters in the 80s and the early 90s, you saw me. I had hair back then. I was a lot younger. Didn't need glasses. Definitely didn't have no Mr. Snowman beard. I was only 22 years old when I joined the group. And those videos that I have of my performance in the Platters, I was in my late 20s. So I was around, I think I got a video from 1988 and 89. And I was actually 89, I was 30 because I was born in 59. In 88, I was 29. Yeah. Even I gotta rethink and remember, check my memory bank when I'm talking about stuff like that. But yeah, and nobody was heartbroken because of his passing, because we all knew it was inevitable. And I could tell you from my experience in the group and my time with Tony, you had a sense that he was okay with, he had already come to, basically, he had already come to terms with himself. I think he had found peace within himself that whatever happened to his life, he had come to terms and accepted it. His opportunities he had, the greatest opportunity to have it is to be discovered for your talents, and then to be presented to the world and being loved by the world. And he had that. Now, the sad part was that he wasn't really able to take full advantage of all those opportunities. For one, from the time that he grew, that he was in, that he lived in, it wasn't really a great chance for opportunities for African Americans, especially in the entertainment business, especially music. And the fact that he broke into the white pop music charts back at the height of segregation and racism in this country is amazing in itself. Okay, for him to be able to do that is amazing in itself. And it was only a short period of time. I say from they signed their record deal in 1954. They got their first big record in 1955, where they had a #1 record, and they had their last big record in 1959, where they had a #1 record. I think the Platters had 4 #1 records on the white pop charts between 1955 and 1959. So by 1960, when he left the group was already that particular type of rock and roll is fading out. That rock and roll, that 50s rock and roll era was fading away. You got to remember that by that time, Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Richie Valens had died in a plane crash. Jerry Lee Lewis and Chuck Berry, I think Chuck Berry went to jail for the Mann Act, and Jerry Lee Lewis was going through his thing because he married his 13-year-old cousin. That's how crazy those times was. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the men in the Platters were accused of having relations with underage girl or traveling or through states with different girls, with underage women. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly because I was born in 59. So I was born the last year the Platters had a hit record. So I'm not of that era. That's my parents' era. My parents were teenagers and when the Platters got started. My mother was 20 when she had me in 59. So she had to have been, what, 15 or 16 when the Platters first came out. So that's her music from her era, her parents' music from her. My mother was 20 and father was 21 when I was born in 1959. So that's their music from that era. My music is, I grew up more with the Motown era, not in the beginning, but the later stage of Motown era, the Jackson 5, the Temptations. Although the Temptations was part of the early era, it was also part of the late 60s also, when I discovered music on my own, which got me to become invested, or made me want to be in the music business. So after seeing the Jackson 5 on TV in 1969, I was 10 years old. Michael Jackson was 11 years old. After watching that, I knew that's what I wanted to do. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know if I was ever going to get opportunities to do it, but I knew that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be that. And it only took 4 years after high school for that dream to come true. I graduated at 18. At 22, I was a member of the Platters. So between the ages of 18 and 22, I was able to be in a few bands, local bands, singing, and in a couple of a cappella vocal groups, learning harmony and singing. So by the time I got my opportunities to do the Platters, I was ready. I was good to go. I was already put in my practice years and was ready to join that group. So when they discovered me, I was already seasoned and good to go. So yeah, so getting back to Tony, and I've been skipping around. I've been making these live videos, so I'm not going in chronological order. Okay, so I might jump from 1983 to 1990, and then go back to 1985 to 1991, or 1987 to 1982, where I joined the group. So I'm jumping back and forth like that, talking about those particular years, because each time I'm going to talk about a specific year. This was 1992 that we're talking about on this particular live stream. This was Tony's last year, his last waking moments, if we want to keep it 100. And that's what we're talking about now. Like I said, I wasn't there when he passed. So I was informed about, I heard about it overseas, but then when I came back to America, I went straight to Tony's home and his wife, Helen Williams, who was like a surrogate mother to me. She informed me. She gave me all the details. And it's funny because I never thought that I was going to be making a YouTube channel where I could get a chance to talk to people. I thought I was going to go to my grave with all this information and knowledge, firsthand knowledge that I have about Tony Williams and my time with him. But thank goodness for YouTube, because now I have a platform that I can just go to and locate Platter fans out there in the world. And the great thing about YouTube is a worldwide web. So I don't have to be specific in terms of locations of Platters fans, because they're worldwide. I had Platters fans contact me from Brazil. Blew my mind, you know. But then again, I didn't go to Brazil with the Platters. I think the Platters at one point did go perform in Brazil. The times that I was with the Platters, we basically were touring Europe, Asia, America, and the Caribbeans. And so I got a chance to visit all those places while I was a member of the Platters. I wish I could have gone a few more, but we had a few places scheduled, but they got canceled. One of them was Australia. I was supposed to go to Australia with the Platters, and the late 80s or early 90s. But I forgot what happened, but that tour got canceled, and we never got. And I think we were supposed to go to Africa sometime during the 80s. That tour got canceled, so I didn't get a chance to go to those two places. So, and I end up, after leaving the Platters, going back to Asia and spending 10 years of my solo life working in Asia as an artist after leaving the Platters. So that's basically all the things I want to touch on today about the night Tony Williams passed, or at that the time when Tony Williams passed. So I think I touched on everything I want to touch on with that. So I'm not sure what the next live stream is going to be, but it's going to be Monday. Hopefully, nothing comes in up and I have to postpone it or reschedule. So I always go live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 4 p.m. West Coast time. And sometimes I would put a link in the chat so you can join me on the live, which I have one in there now. There's a link in the chat for anyone who would like to join. Well, actually, it was for some my friends who joined me on my last live stream, who I thought might come up again, but they hadn't. So I'll do it again on Monday. I'll put a link in the description on Monday and have you join if you're available. So for now, I'm going to end this live stream. I want to thank you for joining me again and listening to my stories. And like I said, I'll post what the next subject is going to be about. I'll think about it sometime tomorrow or Sunday. So by Monday, you'll know what the next subject I'm going to talk about. So that's what's going to happen then. So thanks for spending this time with me. And I love you guys. I want to see more of you Platters fans come out and join me. Have conversation, even leave stuff in the chat, even join me on the live stream, and just talk about Tony Williams. I love talking about their times, but I like to share those information with people who are interested in these stories. These are the behind-the-scenes stories that happened while I was a member of the Platters that you're not going to hear from nobody else, because I'm the last surviving member of Tony Williams Platters. So once again, my name is Ted E. Fane, and this is my channel dedicated to Tony Williams Platters. I hope to see you again. I love you. Peace. Bye-bye.